Hello. Today we're going to Job chapter 13, and the title is Hush, Accusers. All this I have seen with my own eyes. With my own ears have I heard and understood it. Whatever you know, I know too. I am not inferior to you. However, it's Shaddai I want to speak with. I want to prove my case to God. But you, what you do is whitewash with lies. You are all witch doctors. Now this is Job telling his friends that he don't want to talk to them. He wants to talk to God himself. Now this, if you read the story of Job, his so-called friends were accusing him of committing sins against God as the reason why he was going through things. I wish you would just stay silent. For you, they would be wisdom. For you, that would be wisdom. Honestly, when people throw out accusations when they don't know the whole story or don't know what's going on, that would make anybody wise to be quiet. Because if you start throwing out accusations and you don't know everything, or you're spreading accusations or gossip that you heard from somebody else, and you not know the whole story, you not know their side of it and the other person's side, or you don't even really know that person, it's best to actually kind of keep it closed. Now listen to my reasoning. Pay attention to how I present my dispute. Is it for God's sake that you speak so wickedly? For him that you talk deceitfully? Do you need to take his side and plead God's case for him? Job, if that was me saying that, what I would be saying, are you really this full of yourself? Are you really this prideful that you think you have the place, position, and ability to argue God's case, to stand for God? If he examines you, will all go well? Can you deceive him as one man deceives another? The Bible says, examine yourself. I had a pastor years ago, and I still go by this. He says, when you point a finger at somebody, your three fingers are pointing back at yourself. So make sure that what you say about somebody can't come back at you. Make sure that what you say about somebody, that you know what you're talking about. Can you stand before God and not be judged with the same judgment you judge somebody else with? Can you stand before God and not have the same finger pointed at you, pointed at them, you pointed at them, not be pointed back at you? If you are secretly flattering him, he will surely rebuke you. God knows the difference between true praise and not. Doesn't God's majesty terrify you? Aren't you overcome with dread of him? Your maxims are garbage proverbs. Your answers crumble like clay. That was a very polite way, in my opinion, to sit there and say you ain't got a clue what you're talking about. He basically said that everything you say is a lie, so it's garbage, it's trash. Nothing you say can hold up to water. Nothing you say can be proven. You can point fingers at me all day long, but you have to prove what you are saying for it to be substantial, for it to be proven. You can't. If you can't prove it, don't speak it. Even if it's the truth. Unless you have proof or can prove it, don't speak it. Tell me there aren't people out here like that already. Point fingers and accuse you of everything and anything, but can't back it up. Can't do anything to back it up at all. It's just like Job told his friends, those that are pointing fingers and accusing you, accusing me, accusing others, when it's not the truth, or even if it is, or not truth, it's nothing but trash, worthy of being thrown out, to be tossed out, and it will crumble in the presence of true facts, true evidence. So be quiet, let me be. I'll do the talking. Come on me what may. Why am I taking my flesh in my teeth, taking my life in my hands? Look, he will kill me. I don't expect more. But I will still defend my ways to his face. And this is what will save me, that a hypocrite cannot appear before him. Job is basically saying, don't stand up and play the hypocrite. Don't wear the hypocrite shoe. Don't stand up pretending like you're all perfect. Don't sit there and pretend like you never do anything wrong, and then point your fingers at others and start nitpicking about things that may or may not even be there. As believers, we're not supposed to be pointing fingers, no way. As believers, what his friends should have done. He was going through something terrible. It didn't really matter why he went through it. They should have been there to comfort him. They should have been there to uplift him. They should have been there to pray for him. Not to beat him down. If there was a time when, and it had to be a known sin that he did, not something they just thought up or imagined in their head. There had to be proof that there was a sin before any of them could have justified bringing that up. And even only if the Ruach HaKodesh had led them to do it. Doing it on your own power never ends up good. Not for you anyway. So what they should have done was done what a good friend would have done. Comfort him, pray for him. And they know God would have taken care of it and handled the situation. Is there times when you need to tell somebody you did this, and this, and that's why you're going through it? Only if the Ruach HaKodesh has revealed it to you and has led you to say it. And even if you know something, if you're not being led by the Ruach HaKodesh, shut up. That's simple. Listen closely then to my words. Pay attention to what I am saying. Here now I have prepared my case. I know I am in the right. If anyone can contend with me, I will be quiet and die. Now Job was talking out of pain, out of loss, out of sorrow. But he was also knowing that he had not done anything sinful against God. Now he doesn't say he never sinned. But he has repented of his sins. And when somebody is repentant, you don't bring it back up. You don't dig it up. You leave it buried where it is. Only grant two things to me, God. Then I won't hide myself from your face. Take your hand away from me, and don't let fear of you frighten me. Then if you call, I will answer. Or let me speak, and you answer me. How many crimes and sins have I committed? Make me known my transgression and sin. Now Job still didn't know that it wasn't God doing this to him. He didn't know that Satan was doing it. So he thought that God was doing all of this to him. So he was asking God, why are you doing it to me? Why are you going to cause me to go through this? But see, through all of this, even him questioning God, he never sinned against God. Never. Why do you hide your face and think of me as your enemy? Now, I ask you a question. If I want everyone who's ever had to go through this, that is a believer, that is absolutely worshiping and serving God, that is a child of God. Have you ever went through something that brought you to your knees, that totally devastated you, that completely crushed you, and you thought it was God doing it, and you cried out, "Why, God? Why?" That's what Job is doing right now. He's thinking, "God, why are you attacking me? Why are you hurting me? Why have you become my enemy? What have I done?" If you've ever been in a place where you felt like Job did, say me in the comments. Do you want to have I? Yes, I have. I'm going to be honest. Do you want to harass a wind-driven leaf? Do you want to pursue a dry straw? Lord, why are you attacking me? I'm so weak. I'm frail. I'm human. You know my thoughts are limited. My intelligence is limited. Even the genius. I'm going to say this. Even geniuses are limited in their intelligence next to God. So when I say limited mentality, I'm not talking about just people who have a learning disability. I'm talking about all of us. Right down to the ones who have a learning disability, to the ones that extreme geniuses. Y'all too. Your intelligence, your knowledge is limited compared to Yahweh. Is this why you draw up bitter charges against me and punish me for the faults of my youth? Now, here's the thing. Job was righteous before God, which means that he had already repented of the sins of his youth, like a lot of us. And now here's the thing. I don't care if that sin you repented just last week. It's still a repented sin and should not be drugged up and pointing the finger at that person. Now, like I said, Job didn't know that God wasn't attacking him, but didn't know that God was doing this. He didn't know that wasn't God at this point. And he's saying, "What the only sins you could have against me is what I did when I was young. Why are you bringing it up now?" So, and see, it's understandable that Job, even though he was wrong, it was understandable out of his pain and sorrow and heartache that he would start saying, "God, why are you doing this to me?" But his friends, a different story. His friends should have been more of friends. He didn't have very good friends. I would have gotten rid of those friends. He didn't have very good friends at all. As a matter of fact, those friends, I believe, caused more heartache to Job because of the fingers they were pointing at him. You put my feet in the stocks and watch me closely where I go, and track out each footprint of mine. Though my body decays like something rotten or like a moth-eaten garment. Here's the thing. We've all thought God was attacking us at different times. We always thought it was God doing it. And it may have been, get this, sometimes we do things that cause the stuff on ourselves. That we make decisions that are not the best. And sometimes it's the enemy. But when you go through this stuff, when you go through what the enemy puts you through, when he's beating you down, got you knocked down, got you trampled all over, got you where you don't think you can get back up, then got you almost at the point of shaking and waving that white flag. Rejoice. Because the harder he hits you, the more he's proven that God loves you. And as long as you know God is for you, who can be against you? As long as you know God loves you, let that old toothless lion roar.